Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to today's morning report on Monday the 15th of June with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Hantech Markets. European trading session has got off to a pretty negative start once again. Talks between Greece and its creditors broke down once more over the weekend, and just again the sentiment has been impacted by this. Politicians sort of on both sides are sort of getting increasingly a little bit exasperated by the situation. Jens Weidmann, the German finance minister, says that Greece is running out of time, and also Tsipras, the Greek prime minister, is also just taking a little bit of a more negative stance actually, but that's certainly dragging on the markets in Europe today. DAX is down 1.6%, CAC down 1.1%, sorry 1.0% on the DAX, sorry, and FTSE's down slightly 0.6%. So this negativity is waning on these markets. And what we've also seen is a slight bit of dollar strength as well. It's interesting that it's also coming as this the Bund yield is coming back towards that 0.8% as investors have been sort of buying back into the Bund in recent days. Key support there on the Bund yield at 0.8%. In terms of the dollar, we've seen some sharp moves higher and lower, a lot of volatility in these forex markets at the moment. No real direction forming, certainly in the last few days, last week or so. It's been basically sort of fluctuating in rather a sideways manner, so no real direction yet, but certainly just today there's a slight amount of dollar strength, although nothing really significant. I think market's going to be increasingly looking towards this Fed meeting this week, and that will be on Wednesday. So in terms of what we've got to look forward to today, we've got the industrial data for the States. We've got the industrial production for the US, and that's due to come out at 2:15 actually, and it's expected to come in slightly higher, 0.3% up month on month, which, as you can see here, you've had the last 5 months of negative data, so that would be a slight improvement in terms of on the monthly data, but still on the yearly data we'd still be seeing that industrial production falling back to around about 1.6% on the year-on-year data, so it continues to fall away, and the data is not all that great for the industrial production. So you've also got the capacity utilization at the same time as 78.3, just up slightly from 78.2% last month. And then also after the industrial data, you've got the NAHB, the National Association of Home Buyers Index, at 3 o'clock, and that's expected to come in slightly higher at 56. So basically just stabilising, no significant improvement there. So a couple of dollar related bits of data that we can have driving the markets this afternoon. But at the moment, markets are fairly settled, to be honest, in a slightly more negative outlook. In terms of my chart of the day, I'm looking at silver actually, and it continues to fall away in the last few weeks, really. This is the sort of range that you've been trading around in silver for the last few months, really, in 2015, a fairly choppy range. And it certainly looks as though that at the moment we're coming back towards the test of this 1550 support area. That's sort of been the floor in this range, and it continues to fall away. I mean, I'll just put a wee downtrend in there. It's not a great one because it's sort of break to the upside, but still, you can see the sort of general trend that you've got on this silver chart here in the last few weeks, trending lower, continuing to form lower highs, lower lows. You've got negative configuration across the board on the momentum indicators. The RSI back at 34 is still very negative. MACD line's negative. Stochastics still in negative territory as well. You're also trading below all the moving averages, which are actually coming together to fall in bearish sequence. So that's again not a particularly positive sign either. It certainly looks as though I think you're going to be testing this 1550 support area in the coming days, probably this week actually. And in terms of the recent candles, you've actually got a fairly mixed batch of candles. There's quite negative candles coming in here, but you could argue there's a couple of positive reversal candles in here, but but to be honest, I think it's sort of all cancelling out, because there's still the pressure to the downside. You've still seen that reaction high at 1622 last week, and I think that now is your key high that you can see in there, because it certainly looks as though the pressure remains to the downside. Now, in terms of the hourly chart, you can see here at pretty much better detail that big near-term resistance that comes in around that 1620 mark, sort of all these highs from early part of last week. And that is obviously the key resistance now, and it sort of now looks as though you're settling into more of a sort of resistance area around that 16 about 1606, 1610 area, and then sort of falling at lower levels. So it certainly looks as though pressure is going to be building back on that 1580 support mark. And if 1580 is broken, then that would reopen the lows around 1550 again. So it certainly looks at the moment as though lower highs, lower lows, you're going to be pushing downwards again, and that's what the technicals are suggesting. So I wish you good luck in your trading on silver today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.